it's just nice to have that money back and not even worry about it.
You just let me grow.
So with that being said, I'd like to tell a story that happened to
Please do.
me today. So about 3 weeks ago, I got back to Indiana, and I went to the office in beautiful Parker City, and Ron said, hey, I've got some,
So your main office is still in Parker City?
I've got an office in beautiful Parker City, and I've got an office in Indianapolis on 71st and Shadeland.
Okay.
So that's
Gotcha.
Jenny's office,
Yeah.
but it's ours. Mm-hmm. So I walk into Parker, and I go to Parker about 2 times a week. My parents are still there, 83 years old, check on them. I've got, friends, family, so I just make my stops to see my clients and stuff.
Yeah.
So I went in the other day, and Ron said, hey, this is, Simpleton money, and it was $1,000 cash.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, well, that's cool, but I like to help other people. So I made my decision at that point, well, I'm going to give this away to other people. Mm-hmm. So I went home, I threw the money in a drawer, I took $200, put it in my wallet. And over time, I would, spread this money to people. There's people that hold signs, and I don't judge those people. So, but I'm the guy that will stop and give anybody and everybody. I give $20 a time.
Yeah.
So that's I think my main mission in life is to be a great grandfather and to give other people. I've been way blessed with stuff. So this morning I'm on a leadership call, and there's people from all over the country, and we meet and we talk about really how to be a good human. Mm-hmm. Right. And we were talking about happiness, and when one door shuts and another opens, and we're telling all these stories, and it's beautiful. And there's a pastor on there, and it's just all these beautiful, wonderful people. And my call ends, and my wife runs in the house, and she's like, you are never going to believe what just happened to me. I'm like, what happened? She goes, I went to the post office to get my passport. Yeah. She goes, it's right over there by Lucas Oil. I'm like, okay, cool. She goes, as I'm getting my passport processed, she said, I noticed a young man walk in the post office with a backpack, and he's really shy, and this one woman behind the counter said, oh, hold on. And so she goes out, and they started talking, and he starts crying. And the woman took him to another room, and my wife could watch this happening, and the young man leaves, and my wife went over to the woman and said, I don't know what you just did, but that was beautiful. And she goes, I loaned him $40. He's homeless. I don't have a lot of money, but he needed it more than me, so I gave him $40 2 weeks ago. He just gave me a card and $40 back to repay me.
Wow.
And I said, that's stuff you don't hear about, right?
Yeah.
So I get in my little drawer. I get $100, 5 20s. I go, I want to go to the post office. She goes, for what? I go, I'm going to give her money. She goes, no, you're not. I go, yes, I am. I said, she's an angel.
Yeah.
Let me help her. Let me help fund this angel.
Right.
So I walk in the post office with my wife, and we're in line, and we get up, and it's her, named Charlotte. And I said, Charlotte, you know my wife? Yes, honey, I just met her, and she's just. Yeah. And I said, she told me the story of what you did, and she said, yeah. And I began reaching in my pocket. She's like, hey, don't do that. And I'm like, no. I said, I want to give you something, but I don't want you to have it. I want you to give it to others. And so I had $100 to give to her, and she said, I can't accept it. I said, why not? She goes, they won't allow me to do it. She goes, my boss is right there. Boss walks over. She goes, what's going on? I go, you know the story of what happened this morning? Yeah. I said, I want to give her this, but not for her. I'm not giving this to her. I'm giving this to her to facilitate, to help this community. And she's like, we can't allow that, but I'll make an exception.
Wow.
I was like,
that's cool.
All right. Yeah. So anyway, and then it was just like, hey, very nice to meet you, and then we leave.
Yeah.
And so that type of thing makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Right? That's where I get all my joy in the world. If I can help, there's a lot of people hurt, and there's a lot of people that need help out there. So anyway, being as blessed as I have been, I do have the fortune of being able to financially help, other people in need.
Well, but the cool thing about the moral of that story is it doesn't matter how wealthy you are. You can always help somebody in need.
And that was the point. Like, here's a woman that I know wants to help people, but is limited in funds.
Yeah.
Well, I've got extra, right? I've got extra treasure I don't need.
Yeah.
So here you go. And I don't know that I won't go back and before I go back to Colorado and replenish her jar so she can